hatchery, and we see many links from the little one still denying this expansion up at the north. We've seen Huk want to gear up to take that multiple times. Interestingly enough, Huk still ahead in the food count. That timing push by Huk did some damage, but perhaps not enough.
We do have pathogen glands coming out, so possibly some infestor play. As you mentioned, TLO does like those infestors. And meanwhile, Blink is being researched. So we've also got speed and the next level of Carapace coming out for the Zerg. So TLO just completely fine with that initial advantage that he's got. Obviously, the gold fell, but he's got his third base up as well. And here comes another push from Huk.
Looks like both of them are going the opposite ways around the map. It looks like there's going to be some serious base trading. The little one does have 2 extra hatcheries making, so now the little one sees it. He's going to be retreating with everything. Meanwhile, in production, Blink is almost done. The little one does manage to cancel in time. Don't forget about this bottom hatch and this very south 6 o'clock expansion, and it looks like more great movement by both players. Huk being very careful about moving around, and getting completely surrounded, and Blink is not done yet. Zerglings surrounding all of these stalkers, and the roaches doing huge damage at the front. The zealots in the back ripping apart these Zerglings. Does TLO have the +1 armor? Yes, he does. And TLO now advancing fast, and there's the Blink, the nice retreat, pulling everything back up onto the high ground. These roaches are taking some serious damage on the bottom of that ledge, but here comes Huk advancing forward again, and if any infestors pop out, they will be able to shut down the Blink micro from those stalkers.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of great moves right there. TLO sending his roaches down one side, Zerglings down the other. He sort of sandwiches them, and then another great move by LiquidHuk, blinking up to the top into his base for safety. He is going to manage to take out these lings. A couple will slip through there, but he'll pick those off as well. Trying to secure that third base, really wants to get that down, and he should, as we see another expansion for TLO already up. So he is really taking his side of the map. Now with the help of this observer, going to clear out these creep tumors and really try to hinder the movement of TLO, which will be a great advantage to him. But TLO's roach count is just getting enormous.
Oh my goodness, and the smart Blink onto the high ground, doing a lot of good against those speed roaches, but again, did Huk advance too far? There are so many roaches everywhere, and the fungal growth. He fungal growths the front stalkers. He cannot blink them anymore, and TLO is doing incredible damage. The stalkers are trying to retreat to the low ground, but there are roaches there to greet them, and there's a little bit of creep left, so he is still sprinting after them. Huk, after that huge first timing push, is in a terrible situation.
Yeah, that was really nice. I liked TLO splitting his roaches, too, because he knew if you're going to blink out there, you're probably going to want to, or if you're going to blink into my base, you're probably going to want to blink out. So I'll just keep these roaches down there. And, of course, as they just sort of blinked out one by one, the damage was dealt. Roaches are going to continue to move around the map. This observer is going to be following, hopefully, their every move, and a large number of Zerglings now making their way in. And this is going to be pretty nasty for this expansion. They will make their way in, immediately going after those probes. In from the back come the roaches. TLO will decide to pull out here.
Here comes the little one. He's going to back up and join in with the rest of his forces. He's trying to get the zealots in the front. Stalkers trying to pull back to deal with these Zerglings at the back, but look at the unit count of the little one just streaming in, playing Zerg the way they're meant to be played. Masses of units streaming in. The stalkers are fungal growth. They cannot blink away. There the fungal growth wears off, but how much damage more can Huk take? There are so many roaches here. Doesn't matter how good your blink micro is unless you have enough units. And there comes the Immortal, a lot too late, trying to do his best it can, and wow, if Huk holds this off, that would be a miracle defense.
Yeah, it looks like TLO just wants to go ahead and take out this expansion, but he is not going to completely retreat, as Huk will move forward. Will the Immortals make any sort of a difference here? There are only one infestor left with no energy to fungal, but the Zerglings getting the surround and stopping these units. They will take out that Immortal, and then there is not much that's going to be done here, as TLO will wreck this expansion here. So many roaches. We've got more oh my gosh, look at all these roaches streaming down. There's just a huge army from TLO making his way out. He's at 165, 200 to 79, 124. It's the food count is ridiculous right now.
And we see Huk trying to pick off these overseers, and there's the good game. A stunningly good game by TLO. I mean, that is very impressive Zerg. I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of surprised at the way that that game played out. I mean, you watched Huck threw down the cannon rush, and then the little one, with an only drone defense, didn't even save up Larva to make Zerglings, just knew that he was going to be fine with just drones. And then Huck with the brilliant timing push to take out the expansion, followed by TLO just seeming to have more and more and more and more units. It was incredible.
Really enjoyed that. And, of course, dude, TLO has the advantage like that. You know, maybe, oh, I'll go ahead and make a lot of Zerglings, just go ahead and in this. But TLO certainly just wanted to continue to compound that advantage. It's something that you talk a lot about on your dailies, is that you don't necessarily have to go in for that kill if you're, you know, if you've got that little bit of a lead. Why don't you just keep on making that lead bigger and bigger and bigger? The food count at the end was obvious.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So we're going to get the next players, the next game started here, and LiquidHuk has chosen Lost Temple as his map.
And, you know, I think that there was actually three unsung heroes of that game, which were the three Zerglings that were patrolling around at the north side of the map that kept killing off probes that was trying to build the third base for LiquidHuk. That denied any chance of getting an economic lead, and it didn't look like much, but it was when that final push was coming and you realized, wow, this expansion is only just finished.
Right.
Really, really helped TLO maintain that lead. And we've seen that even in his games against KiwiKaki, how he was being so focused not just on the battle at the front, but on what the next later step was going to be. And it looks like we are going into Game 2 on Lost Temple.
Let's hear it for Team Liquid battling it out right now. Huck in danger of being sent home by teammate the Little One. And we've got the Little One in the 6 o'clock position as the blue Zerg.
And he's 6-pooling.
He is.
He is 6-pooling. I would like to note that in this production tab, there is exactly nothing being produced. And at the same time, we have Huck in the north position. It's cross-map. I actually think this is worse for Huck, as it'll take him a long time to scout.
You're right, and we do have the spawning pool going down right there on 6, and we will find out what is going to happen with this. There we've got the pylon going out, scouting off of the pylon, and we'll see what Huck decides to do. He's going to swing around there to the 9 o'clock position, and then he is going to be pleasantly surprised as he sees a lack of construction here, of drones anyway.
Now, when KiwiKaki was against early rushes, he simply walled off the bottom of his opponent's ramp, and that might be an extremely effective decision for Huck. It looks like he is sending southward. Now, Huck occasionally does funky things where he will scout the left and then scout the right by passing through these two Xel'Nagas, but because he's against Zerg, he has no reason to stop by the Xel'Nagas. There's not going to be any sort of proxy hatchery in the middle of the map, so he is going to be scouting TLO immediately.
Here he goes. He's going to make his way in, and one of the things that you've been paying attention to is watching the APM as he realizes exactly what happens, and he sees the extractor go,
uh-oh, and it looks like the Little One, or, oh my gosh, Huck was actually gearing up to do an early expand, so he doesn't even have the minerals, or excuse me, have the gateways up, so he double gateways immediately, and he will have to have enough money to make another pylon in this wall off. These gateways are not even close to being finished. It looks like he's advancing forward. He's going to have to try to do a wall off. He's going to begin with the bottom of his own ramp first, it appears. No, it looks like he sees it now. Oh gosh, he needs to wall off. He is nowhere even close to having that wall off up. I'm going to be shocked if Huck manages to pull this one off.
Here we go. Zerglings coming in. Probes are certainly going to have to come off the line, and here they are all coming down. Of course, TLO going to immediately go after that pylon. If he takes it out, those gateways are useless. Huck is going to make a smart move. Drop that pylon in the back just in case it gets taken out. He's going to try to block these Zerglings coming in, offering reinforcements. One gateway is up. And look at this, losing a few probes here. But is going to manage to get, well, he's got a lot of probes down. He's going to try to get the Zealot out right now.
And it looks like TLO will be able to pick off one of those pylons, but phenomenal control by Huck. I still cannot really tell who's coming out ahead in this one, because honestly, only 4 probes have been lost. There's the Zealot that's out right now, and it looks like Huck is going to be able to take it out with just probes. These are extremely low health workers, and I do think that, wow, very smart foresight by Huck, just blocking the front of his ramp, relying on his probe control, Phenomenal defense by Huk, managing to stay alive, losing only 5 probes in that entire exchange. But don't forget how long he was not mining, and oh my goodness, the little one still at just 6 drones.
And here we go. Zealot's going to come out, but we do have another chrono boosted Zealot about ready to stop. So if this hold position Zealot gets taken out, he can move this other one into position. And you can see Zerglings are still streaming up here from TLO at the front. What will be the the conversion from this? Well, as you said, he's got 7 drones now, a few more making, and so Huk is technically in the lead as far as economy goes.
This game is insane. I mean, I don't really know what your next step is from either player. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my goodness! Well, third Zealot does pop out at the last second, but was it still too little too late? Huk needs to pull back. Oh no! He does manage to let them in. Gigantic blunder, but Huk has shown time and again that he has phenomenal probe control against these Zerglings. Look at that probe getting pulled back at the last second, but really, this is a terrible spot to be in as Huk. Huk was performing brilliantly, and if he loses this game, that is going to be a bitter, bitter loss.
Well, the good news for Huk is that these 4 Zerglings are the last of the reinforcements that are being sent by TLO. So if he handles them nicely, and it does look like he has, and I'd really love to get into the brain of Huk, because it almost looks like knowing that that next Zealot was going to pop, he did that on purpose. He just tried to get rid of those Zerglings. It's hard to say, but he did have that Zealot pop, put him on hold position almost immediately, then went after the Zerglings, and Huk, although still losing a little bit of mining here and there, is managing to stay in this game. Now, looking at TLO, how has he sort of brought himself back to working order? He's starting to get some decent drones out here. He's got the Queen out, Stractor up.
I mean, this game's weird. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, here come the 2 Zealots.
It looks like the 2 Zealots are now swinging in from Huk. TLO is trying to keep this Zergling here because, again, one Zergling is going to deny this one Zealot from ever really participating in the fight. But, look at these Zerglings from TLO spawning at the last second. Huk is going to have to pull back into better position, but he will be overrun. But this is actually a good spot to be in for Huk. He didn't do very much direct damage with the Zealots, but a lot of Zerglings were made instead of drones. And Huk, as long as he doesn't do one of those overbold move downs of the ramp, he will be in much better shape.
Now, we did see the Zerglings get through here, this little hole right here, and it looks like that Zealot's in the exact same position. Is there still a hole right there?
Yeah, there's actually a little gap where units can slip through, so Huk's going to need to be very, very careful. It looks like he has another Zealot popping out. I don't think he's aware yet.
Ooh, I like this.
I think that TLO is just going to go directly for the gold. He had to make all these extra lings. How do you account for that? How do you make up for it? Well, just kill the destructible rocks and take yourself a juicy gold.
And it makes sense, you know, he knows he's going to have minimal pressure coming out here by Huk. Huk is going to answer here with the Forge, and now the Cybernetics core going up as well. You can see his probe count starting to increase here, but actually TLO ahead in the drones, despite the fact that he's made quite a few Zerglings and all this. Speed is going down as well. He's just got the 1 gas going. I'm really curious to see where he's going to decide to go from here.
A fast +1 from Huk would be brilliant at this stage. There it is going down, and look at all that chrono boost saved up. And whoops, accidentally throwing it down on the Cybernetics core again, but on the Forge would be fantastic. Looks like we have a little one gearing up, yes indeed, to take that gold. Such clever play, absolutely always creative in every one of his games. And in the meantime, it looks like Evolution Chamber going down for the little one. Very confusing play. I think he's trying to get his +1 armor to counter this +1 attack. I'm still quite unsure.
No, we'll keep an eye on that, as we are going to have that gold base going down for TLO. I really like that play. He's going to go ahead and get +1 melee from that Evo chamber. He's got a bunch of lings out here at the Xel'Naga Tower, and look at this. Huk is going to send his scouting pro out, and he looks like he's going to move out here with some Zealots.
That's very, very funny, the way that that probe just literally slid right through every single one of those Zerglings, give them the good old train of high fives. There's the re-chrono boost on that Forge. Looks like Huk wants to be expanding with this little pylon here on the cliff, but the 2 Zerglings in the center were picked, 2 probes in the center were picked off by the little one.
And we do have Warp Gate about ready to complete +1.